My favorite Bible story. Okay, so my favorite Bible account. Because this is not just a story, this really actually happened. And when you read through it, you actually think, how? No way, but it did. And everything about it is amazing. So it comes from 1 Kings chapter 18 and 19. It kind of spills in a little bit because people a lot of times break this up because there's just so much, but I like the whole thing all together. Okay, so the background is, you got King Ahab. He's a bad dude. I think he's just kind of a stupid dude. He's not very wise, he's not very smart. He's got this wife, Jezebel, and she's like kind of like running the house. She's like, okay, Ahab, here's what you're gonna do. And he's like, okay, and that's pretty much how things go. She hates God, hates all the prophets of God, kills most of them. Actually, only one survives, and that's Elijah. We'll get back to that. But she is like the proponent. She is the cheerleader for Baal and the prophets of Baal. Okay, and Baal is a false god. In case you guys didn't know, very bad news. Not cool. Not worshiping God. Okay, big issue there. So Elijah prays to God, and he actually stops the rain. There's now a famine. There's no rain. There's no crops. There's a famine in the land because because Elijah and God are like, okay, we gotta fix this scenario in Israel until the northern kingdom, by the way, because this is after the split. So this is not Judah. This is the northern kingdom. So there's a famine going on. Anyway, Elijah goes up to Ahab, and he says, all right, enough's enough. Grab 450 prophets of Baal, 450 prophets of Baal, and bring them up to the mountain. I'll go up to the mountain. We're going to have a sacrifice off, okay? So the reason why I love this is because there's so much in here. There's like the ultimate power of God. There's some trash talking, some potty humor, and then there's ultimate, like, well, there's some superhero stuff, which is super cool. And then there's this aspect where there's still a level of insecurity, which is just so encouraging to know that somebody who experienced so many actual solid miracles all right in a row can still be insecure, because that lets me know that my insecurity is normal and human, and it lets me know that I can continue on. But anyway, we'll get up to all that. Okay, so he says, everybody go up to the top of the mountain. They're up on the top of Mount Carmel. He says, okay, here's 2 oxen. Pick whichever one you want. Sacrifice it to Baal. And here's your altar, or you make your altar over here. I'm going to make my altar over here. So they've got this altar. They chop up the bull, they put it on there, and they start praying to Baal, and they start saying, Baal, Baal, come hear us. And Elijah, so they do this from the early morning till noon. So hours and hours and hours. And at one point a little after noon, Elijah gets so annoyed, he starts calling out, hey guys, maybe you gotta be a little louder. Maybe Baal's busy. Maybe he went on a journey. And then like the ESV version, the English Standard Version, actually says, maybe he's in the bathroom. Maybe he's taking a leak. Okay, you gotta be louder. Maybe he's fell asleep. Try to wake him up. Wake up Baal, because right now I'm not seeing anything, and you're calling out to your God, and nothing's happening. So then they actually started to get like crazy desperate. So they started actually cutting themselves and dancing around and jumping around, trying to get Baal's attention. Of course, there is no Baal. So they're bleeding now. They're exhausted. They're dancing. And Elijah says, okay, it's my turn. So he says, hey, I'm going to prepare my altar, and I want you guys to dig a trench around it. And then he said, I want you to fill up these huge water jugs and dump it over. And they dumped the water over. And he says, no, do it again. And dumped it over again. He says, 3rd time. They dumped it over, and everything is soaked. The whole trench moat that he made is full of water. It's completely soaked. He prays, God, can you prove you're the real God of Israel? Boom! Okay, the Bible says, not only did the oxen meat burn, but the wood all burnt up completely. Then it says the stones all burned up completely. Then it says all of the water that was all in the trench was licked up completely. Then it says the dust was burnt up completely. There's nothing left. It's just completely gone. You know, we're not talking about a fire. We're talking about like a nuclear, it's gone. There's nothing left. So Elijah turns to the people. The people all fall on their face. They're like, the real God, okay, loud and clear. Okay, so then Elijah says, okay, take the prophets of Baal, execute them. They're leading everybody astray. They don't belong here. They go take care of that. Elijah says, Ahab, I need you to go back to this town. I can't remember Jezreel, I think is the name of the town. And he says, I'm going to go up in the mountain, and I'm going to pray to God. We're going to get our rain back. We're going to, now that we're back on the right course, I'm going to pray to God. We're getting our rain back. So he goes up on the mountain, and long story short, he prays until a cloud starts forming over the Mediterranean and starts coming out. And then it says he gets the spirit and the power of the Spirit of the Lord comes upon him, and he stands up and he like tucks his cloak into his belt and he runs to Jezreel and he outruns Ahab, who's in a chariot. Ahab's like, yeah, I gotta get the... And along comes Elijah, running faster than this chariot all the way, and it's like, you were up on the mountain, you were there. He's like, my name is Barry Allen. No, I mean, he was just like, boom, faster than ever, gets all the way to the town, and when he's there, I can't remember what he does there. Alright, so anyway, he takes care of business in the town, and then Ahab actually goes to Jezebel, the one who was like totally anti-God and all for Baal. And he says, you won't believe what just happened, but yeah, here's the deal. And he tells her the story, and she puts out this massive like announcement, I'm gonna go kill Elijah. So Elijah, who just called on the fire of God, stopped rain, started rain, ran like a cheetah. It says it was 20 miles, by the way. So this guy is like, he's got the record for fastest marathon ever.
Yeah, not pretty much.
So all of this stuff that just happened, all within a few days, he hears Jezebel wants to kill you. So he runs away and he hides under a juniper tree and he prays to God. He says, God, I did all your work, but someone still wants to kill me. Can you just kill me instead and make it end? And then an angel appears to him and says, you need to eat because God still has work for you to do. He's like, no, I just want to die. He's like, you need to eat. So he eats and he travels down to the mountain of God. And when he's there, he goes and he hides in a cave. And God actually sends another angel and says, why are you in here? And he says, I'm just scared. There's his insecurity. This is the guy who just ran like the Flash. Right after he called a cloud to form, right after he sent laser beams down to destroy rock and water and sacrifice and wood, right after stopping the rain through prayer, he has seen the full ultimate power of God over and over and over again, and that power actually came on him, but when someone threatened his life, he got scared and ran away and hid in a cave. It's incredible to know the power of God, but regardless of how much power we're seeing in God, we're going to have bad days. We're going to have days where we're like, I don't even know if I can do this anymore. But you know what the cool thing is? God was right there to encourage him. God didn't stop giving him work. He didn't stop giving him jobs to do. He said, you got more you got to do. Here it is. And what eventually ended up happening to Elijah, did you know Elijah did not die? He was never killed. And he never died of old age. He never died at all. He got to ride in this awesome little fiery chariot that came down. He got a hitchhike to ride up to heaven. Just boom, there he goes. So even Elijah, who witnessed all of that crazy good stuff, got scared. And he ran away. That just makes me feel so comfortable that when I have those bad days, I can say, I'm human. Elijah did too. So that's my favorite Bible story. That's my favorite passage, and I know it's long, but 1 Kings 18 and the beginning of 19 is where that's found, and it's an awesome read. Like, you can't just read one little section. Every time I go to read through it, I keep reading. So much fun. So, that's all I got. Questions? Comments?
That's amazing.